all of you out there that are celebrating and acknowledging the LGBTQ people in your life, because it's not always like that, and this is refreshing. Okay. Second thing, real quick, I don't have a lot today, so I'll go to question and answers rather quickly, but I'm reading this book, Love Across Borders by Anna Lekas Miller. I actually talked to her before she started writing this book about how some of the couples and families, particularly Iranian, Syrians, and Yemeni, were coping with the being separated during the Trump's travel ban, Muslim ban. And so I'm excited to see not only did she write this book, but that it's been published. And I got my copy today. I pre-ordered it, and I recommend this book, especially if you are in a situation where you are separated from loved ones, particularly romantic loved ones, and you're trying to navigate what that's like, because you're not the first one to do it. It is possible to have a long distance relationship and come out stronger than ever before. I've experienced that in my personal life. That is true. So this book, I'm in the first chapter now. I've finished the introduction. It seems great, and so I'll recommend it. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on in the immigration world that I am not following right now, and I'm sorry for that. I'm just focused on my clients and getting what they need. So I do want to mention quickly about AP mandamus lawsuits, since that's the bulk of the space where I spend most of my time. If you are an immigrant visa applicant who had an interview and they put you in what's called administrative processing, mandamus lawsuits have proven to be exceptionally effective at ending that delay. Overall, the State Department has decided to provide adjudications to moot the lawsuits, make the lawsuits go away so that they don't have to go before judges and they don't have to answer complicated questions like, why are you using a form, DS 5535, created by the Trump administration to implement the Muslim ban? Why are you still using that form? They don't want to answer that before a judge. So that's probably why their litigation strategy is generally to not fight these kind of cases. However, I did want to disclose that we have had a couple oddities, two cases, one with Morrison Urena, one with my other law firm, where the government did file a motion to dismiss. And so when that happens, generally you have a few options. You could pay extra to have us oppose the motion to dismiss. The decision to do that really needs to take into account your facts, who the judge is, and your means, right? And then the second option, dismiss the case and file it in another jurisdiction. You can't file in the same court because it would get assigned to the same judge and you wouldn't really make any progress. But you could file it in you've got two places you could file a mandamus lawsuit against the State Department. You can file it where the petitioner resides, wherever that jurisdiction is, or you can file it in DC. So you could dismiss it and file it in another jurisdiction. And the third option is ask the government for an extension of the time to file the opposition and hope that things come together in that time. I guess there's a fourth option. You could just dismiss the case and say, shoot, mandamus lawsuit didn't work. I'm talking a lot about this particular scenario because it's come up twice within the last week, which is a fluke, because it hasn't come up since January of 2021 in any of our mandamus lawsuits for people that are in administrative processing. And since it's came up, we've had 3 cases that were cleared, 3 mandamus AP cases that have cleared that where it didn't happen. So it could have just been an accident, where the State Department makes a mistake or the Department of Justice attorney makes a mistake. But I bring this up because it's a good opportunity for me to remind you that there is no guaranteed outcome of litigation. While overwhelmingly, litigation has proven to be extremely effective at not only changing policy at the State Department and the USCIS, but also in accelerating the adjudications of immigration decisions, it's never guaranteed. And so I just wanted to bring that up as a reminder. Okay, so James said, just joining now, what about the book? I recommend the book. I'm reading the book, and I was just going to recommend it. I cannot read this language to know what this person's name is, but it says, keep up the good work, and I appreciate that. Thank you. We will try to keep up the good work, and we will try to work better, always. Okay. YouTube question, translated from Turkish. Will you file another group mandamus lawsuit for F2A, similar that you filed before against the tiered approach? Okay. So we have the tiered approach has been rescinded, but I understand what you're saying, because when it was rescinded, it was replaced with consular officers having the discretion to choose their favorite visa categories. And so we have about the same impact. Actually, it's worse, because Secretary Blinken has said that in a cable, multiple cables, that non-immigrant visas are the priority, like student visas and tourist visas. And so that's where the consulates are putting their resources. The answer to this question is Morrison Urena does not plan another group lawsuit for this situation. Right now, Morrison Urena has 4 lawsuits pending, waiting an outcome, challenging those policies. Sonny, Santos, and Wilson in the Eastern District of New York. We're waiting on an order from the judge on our motion to amend the complaint. And then we've got a lawsuit in District Court of Columbia called Naveed, and we're waiting on the judge's decision on the government's motion to dismiss. So at this time, Morrison Urena does not want to do another case, a group case like that. Okay. Sir, please do something for F4 visa Islamabad embassy, please. We're so worried. I am sympathetic, but I don't know what to do. I could do maybe, well, under Morrison Urena, we're not in a position to do a group lawsuit of that type. Okay. I have another law firm that might consider it, but I'm not here to talk about that. What you could do is a mandamus lawsuit for your individual application. It would need to be current in the visa bulletin, and you would need to have an unreasonable delay. So you can always talk to me about that. President Biden shared a very emotional tweet yesterday about immigration and the necessity of bringing new immigrants. That is true, because June, in addition to being Pride Month, is also let me see here, Immigrant Heritage Month. Okay. And I have something to say about that, as I shared on Twitter myself when he tweeted it. And that is the context. The Biden-Harris administration is behind the Good Luck Appeal, preventing about 20,000 diversity visa winners, mostly from Africa, from immigrating to the U.S. So he can say immigrants keep our nation strong and our economy growing and wave his little flags in the sunlight. But the reality is that's not what his administration's doing. And this old man probably doesn't even know that. So if you know Biden, if you're one of his grandchildren or something, maybe let him know that his administration is keeping African immigrants out. Just, drop it in his ear. Hey, Gramps. I appreciate it. Okay. Arnaud says, what is the importance of Immigrant Heritage Month to Biden administration if we have an appeal outcome pending up to now? That's what I was asking. Okay, so I'm with you. I'm on the same page. I agree. Nar says DV 2020. That's not, no question mark or anything, but I assume you're asking about the Gomez case. It's like Gomez and Good Luck are both pending appeal. We're waiting on the outcome of the appeal. We don't have an update. Arnaud says Biden administration is Joker. I agree. And yet it's probably better than the Trump administration. So it's one of those things where you had to choose between two bad things, and at least we didn't choose the worst. But the worst is coming back, right? So 2024, we'll have another election in this country. And for those of you hoping that immigration situations will get better, they very well could get worse, because with a President DeSantis or President Trump coming back into office, we will see the reimplementation of Trump's signature travel ban, referred to the Muslim ban. We'll see all the other things he did to throttle legal immigration and immigration benefits. So if you are eligible for an immigration benefit, seize the moment and grab it while it's still available, because Congress can make that go away. The president can sabotage it. Lots of things could go wrong. We could have another pandemic, we could have war. So I talk to people every week that say, yeah, we're thinking about filing a petition. And I'm like, what? Are you crazy? If you're eligible to do something, do it. Masanisa says, what is hypocrite from my point of view about the Biden administration on DV lawsuit is not an appeal, is that they asked for a stay. Yes, I agree. But I also understand why they did it. If all those visas had been issued, that would have mooted the appeal. And so what? There wouldn't have been a victim. I agree with you. I was trying to see the devil's advocate, but there's no reason for the Biden administration to appeal the Gomez and Good Luck order. And that stay is as racist as the KKK itself. There's no reason for that stay. I mean, I'm not blaming the judge. I'm blaming the government who asked for the stay. They should have never asked for the stay. I agree. Good point. Sabor says, sir, is there a way that can make the scheduled waiting less in Pakistan for Afghan immigrants? Because it's been 7 months that I'm waiting here for an interview scheduled for my spouse case, USA. Is there a way? Spouse case, USA. Is there a way? I don't know if your spouse is a green card holder or a U.S. citizen, and that's relevant to what visa category you're in. You didn't disclose your visa category. I assume that you're DQ. But anyway, a mandamus lawsuit is always an option. Have your petitioner inside the U.S. contact me to discuss that. James said, I saw your letter on Facebook page June 1st, 2023. I've sent maybe 100 tweets since June 1st. I'll scroll back and see what you're talking about, James. It would help if you would elaborate. Oh, okay. What James is talking about is, okay, so I have Freedom of Information Act request that I have filed. Hold on a second. Let me do this right. I think I've had like 12 of them where we've sued the State Department because they haven't given documents and been transparent about information. And we got some results. What on earth did I just do? Let me see here. Oh, yeah, we got some results on June 1st. It's a letter, not my letter. It's a letter from the State Department to me that says, oh, here's some of the documents that you were asking for. And it's 65 pages. So I keep getting this question, what about it? What about it is not a question that can be answered. I'm not going to write a report for you on what all 65 pages say. I mean, if you read through here and see something that interests you and you are curious about something, let me know. LDRM is the contractor that does a lot of the work at KCC. They have like a $60 million contract or something to do that work. A lot of the stuff that says B5 that was redacted. That means the government doesn't want us to see that page. The government doesn't want to see us to see this section of this email. I heard from someone in the DV space that somewhere in here there's some information that explains why there are holes in the visa case numbers. I don't know if you know much about the holes. It's not something I've really done a deep dive on, so I'm not sure where that's in here. Could be here. But what's interesting is KCC does DVs, but they also do other visa categories too, some employment visa categories. So what's interesting about this is it's LDRM's disincentive calculations. It talks about LDRM, what's actually happening at KCC through the time of 2020 and 2021. And that's of interest to anybody that lived through that. Like you lived through it. Now let's go back and see what was actually happening at KCC. That's why it's interesting. So here's 2020 KCC. Week ending January 3rd. This is when the pandemic had just started in China and it hasn't started in the US yet. Well, so they say. KCC scheduled DV applicants for February. At this point, KCC has scheduled 2,000 more DV cases than 2019. So everything's looking good. And I remember that early 2020, everything was looking good. KCC had a data analytics group come to Kentucky and check out what was going on. Anyway, there was something about H-2A petitions where Stephen Miller was trying to shut down getting agricultural workers from coming to the U.S. And through other FOIA results, we found that didn't work very well because they didn't want to come to the U.S. because COVID hit the U.S. so much stronger than Mexico in the beginning. But that's actually not that. Oh, there was a DV website problem on January 31st, and they fixed it. Like, we wouldn't have known that if we didn't get this. It says I-129. That's an employment visa petition. That confuses people because I-129F is a fiance petition. Increased DV correspondence volume. They realize that KCC is getting more volume, and they think it's caused by COVID. Well, yeah, that's true. The consulate in Monterey visited Kentucky. That's funny. So March is when things went crazy. That's when people at KCC started to get COVID and they just closed things. So anyway, I was trying to figure this out because it looks like alcohol. Kentucky ingenuity. As KCC ran out of hand sanitizer this week, team members worked with a local pharmacy to procure additional amounts of hand sanitizer for the facility by using locally available resources. I don't know about y'all. West Knox Pharmacy. Okay. I thought maybe it was bourbon. I don't know. By April, they were doing 100% telework. Okay, so y'all don't want me to read this whole 65 pages. I got other questions, but that's what that was about, to answer your question, James. If anybody wants a link to that, I'm going to go ahead and drop it over here in comments. Sabor says she's a citizen. If your spouse is a citizen, that means you're an IR1 category, which is a more compelling reason, I think, for the consulate to schedule you for an immigrant visa appointment. If you're an Afghan in Pakistan and your spouse is a U.S. citizen, yeah, she should get with me on a mandamus lawsuit. I'm very confident that we could accelerate the scheduling of that interview. My email, I have 2 emails. My email with Morrison Urena is curtis@morrisonurena.com. I'll type that in the window. Mad Hat says, what about DV 2020? Great group of people. I think you're asking for an update on the appeal, and I covered that earlier. I don't have an update. If I did, I would share it. Lyman says one question, but he didn't ask it. Let me see here. Oh, a Telegram question. Our I-130 F2B pending petition, that is an adult unmarried child of a green card holder, at USCIS showed initially 5 months, then 8 months processing time. Now processing time disappeared. Do you know why? Because of regressing dates in the bulletin? I did not know that it disappeared, but generally the amount of time it takes to process a petition that is not current in the visa bulletin is not that relevant, okay? I've had recently people reach out to me saying they want a mandamus lawsuit to accelerate the decision on the I-130 petition for F2A and F2B categories that are not current in the visa bulletin. And I mean, I'm doing full disclosure here. If we do that, I mean, I can do it. I can file a lawsuit and says, hey, this has been unreasonably delayed. You just understand that this is just for your peace of mind to get a decision on the petition, and so you don't have to wait for a couple of years. Because ultimately, with the scheduling of immigrant visa appointments, they look at the priority date. The priority date is not when the petition is approved. Priority date is when USCIS first received the petition and acknowledged that it was bona fide. It had all the correct forms, okay? A lot of petitions are returned and you don't get a priority date, especially with people that are not represented by attorneys. I read somewhere a crazy number, like they return like 20 or 30% of the petitions they receive because they don't fill out the forms right, or they don't include the right amount of the check. I've had one myself where I think that, what was it they didn't like about the check? I don't know. It has to be to the penny. Everything has to be perfect. Can I have your email so a petitioner can talk to you? Yes, I put it in comments. James says, good evening, Mr. Morrison. I want to appreciate you and your entire team for the excellent job. Thank you. I'm James from West Africa, Liberia. I'm a good luck plaintiff. I believe 80% of your clients, including me, don't understand some legal jargon, and that's okay. Okay. Please interpret this letter to the best of the civil way. I think you are going to analyze the letter and send it to the email as you normally do. This is my question and processing your request for material. Right. So I only have a limited amount of time to engage in public education about law and about the things that the State Department should be educating you about. I try to supplement as much as I can because I realize the State Department fails at treating immigrants with dignity and giving them the best information to make good decisions. But if I did that full time and I didn't retain clients and nobody was paying me, I would not make any money, and I have to make house payment stuff. You know, I need food, cookies. Somebody has to buy cookies for me. So as I can, I will raise awareness. When I don't have time to interpret a document, I'm just going to share the document and hopefully you can figure it out yourself. And you could appreciate that I'm the only one to share it with you. You know what I'm saying? There's thousands of other immigration attorneys, but none of them are filing Freedom of Information Act requests against the State Department to try to find out what the hell is going on. So I know you were grateful. I'm just saying, don't push, okay? I don't have time to write a report on the thing that I produced for you. Will you change your job to judge one day? No. I like colors, and I don't want to wear a black robe every day. That would make me depressed. I would enjoy being a judge very much, but I don't think it's for me. Okay. Why DV lottery winners of 2021 is taking too long for them to get court decisions? Please explain. Well, Lyman, it's not taking too long for them to get court decisions because court decision appeals take a long time, and that's not the court's fault. The problem is that the Biden administration filed the appeal, and they will not dismiss their appeal. So we won victories for DV 2020. I mean, we even won summary judgment for DV 2020, and we won preliminary injunctions for DV 2021. And the Biden administration has appealed all of those orders. Okay, so it's the Biden administration that is the villain in that story, not the court. Appeals take a long time, and that's not the court's fault. They have a lot of volume. Okay, Arnaud says, please, sir, does Biden administration see many tweets people will send against 2020 and 2021 appeal? Arnaud, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I will say this. I think that there are elements of the Biden administration that are a lot like the Obama administration, that they are driven in the policy area by public perception of swing voters. So when DV 2020 and 2021s are tweeting, hashtag, you're not voters in the U.S. The Biden administration doesn't really give a lot of credence to what you want. When I say credence, what I mean is they take care of who they think they can get votes so that they can get this old man reelected again. I don't like policy that's driven by, just like, can we get reelected? I like policy that is rooted in justice, but that's not how politics generally works in the U.S. Why don't they withdraw the appeal? I don't know. Maybe they're scared, like we were just talking about. Maybe they're scared that Republicans will use it against them, which would not make sense because Trump administration originally appealed the preliminary injunction in the Gomez case in summer of 2020, and the Trump administration withdrew their appeal. So the Biden administration fighting the DVs much harder than even Trump was willing to fight them. Think about that. It's pretty crazy. So answer the question, I don't know. This link I shared, and that's the Freedom of Information Act requests production that James asked about. Yusuf has a few questions. We'll talk to him, Yusuf. Good luck, case, any update? No. That's my email address. How long DV 2021 expected to wait for a judge decision? Okay, we're not waiting for a judge decision. We're waiting for an opinion from a 3-judge panel of the Circuit Court of Appeals for the District Court of Columbia. We don't have an expectation because that's not what we do with judges. We don't have expectations for them. We have hopes. So we hope that the opinion comes soon. More importantly, we hope that we are victorious and we beat the Biden administration's appeal. That is very much more important than when the answer comes. What about DVD 2020? I think you mean DV 2020, and I think you're talking about the appeal. And I've covered this multiple times. We don't have an update. Annie says, do you have news about some good luck plaintiffs selected again in 2024? Yes, Annie. I saw that rumor that was passing around that said good luck plaintiffs are being punished because they're not selected for subsequent years. And we've represented many good luck plaintiffs in their DV 2020, 2022, 2023, and now we're talking to 2024 selectees who are also good luck plaintiffs about their paths. So that is not, if you're talking about that rumor, it's not true. Good luck plaintiffs are still eligible for future DV years, and they are winning. I mean, not at any higher percentage than anyone else, but they are winning. One of the good luck plaintiffs on Telegram. Okay. Speaking of which, here's a good luck plaintiff. She says, my husband won the lottery again, and I'm writing to ask you to take us out of the good luck lawsuit. If there's any procedure about it, thank you. You will need to email me directly for that to happen. Okay. I realize you've asked in Telegram. That will need to be an email. And let me tell you why that's not a good idea. Okay. So I've had a couple people come up with that situation where, hey, can I be dismissed as a good luck plaintiff? Well, basically, because we have 11,000 families, over 20,000 plaintiffs, every day a plaintiff dies, gets married, has a kid, that would require us to, if we got started doing this, we'd file voluntary dismissals with the court. This would make the courts so angry if we had filings like this every day, okay? It would also be a lot of work for us. And it would be so unnecessary because it doesn't change anything. And for those of you that think it, yeah, but like, I don't want my husband to be suing the government. Well, guess what? If the reason is you don't want the scrutiny, if a docket entry hits the good luck docket, you've got all these 11,000 families that are going to see it. And they're going to say, hey, what happened with them? And they're going to be looking up on you. You know, they're going to be looking you up on Facebook and Googling you and stuff like that. I don't want to draw attention to any one family for their path changing. There's a stay in the good luck case. Nothing's happening. There's no benefit to removing you from the lawsuit, but there's a lot of downside, okay? It draws attention to you. It disables our firm's ability to get work done, and it disables the court's ability to understand what's going on, because every day that there'd be filings that says, hey, we're dismissing this plaintiff, we're dismissing that plaintiff, and stuff like that. So I strongly discourage it, but you have a right to be dismissed from a lawsuit all the way up in time of summary judgment. Now, summary judgment's already been filed by the government here, so you don't have the right to automatically be dismissed from the lawsuit. We need the court's permission. And good luck, we would need the court's permission. And Ray, we would not need the court's permission. And in Mohammed, Fangjong, and Kennedy, like the DV 2020 cases, you can't be dismissed because that case is closed. We won that case already. You can't be dismissed from a lawsuit after you won. Like the appeal is going on. But so what I'm getting at is just let it go. If you don't want the updates, just unsubscribe when you receive an update. I haven't sent an update to Good Luck and Gomez since February, I don't think. But when you get the next one, just unsubscribe to it. That's the easiest thing to do, because I don't want to start an entire motion process to try to get you removed from a case, because it's going to start this thing that takes up a lot of our time, the court's time, and draws attention to you, and that's not what we want to do. Not what you want either. Faye says, he has a new picture. Okay, if it's the same Faye, I think it is. Do you think there's legislative solution that can be pushed through bipartisan Congress to sort out DV 2021 limbo issue, or is Congress can be considered as hopeless aimed to solve these issues? Congress is hopeless. It is a miracle that they agreed to keep the lights on to the government. They are not going to agree on the DV program. In fact, the DV program is very vulnerable when it comes to immigration reform. When people talk about immigration reform and they want to, get the Democrats get some things they want, the Republicans get some of the things they want, and then they pass a bill. One of the major things the Republicans want, they want a wall, and they want to abolish the DV program. So the DV program itself is a bargaining chip for its very existence is a bargaining chip for immigration reform. So expecting Congress to be the savior, this Congress, where Republicans have kind of taken on this persona of being monsters. I don't know why. Probably because they're scared. I don't know. They weren't hugged enough as children. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have. So, no. The answer is no. I've lost some questions. Okay, I have to answer that one. That's where I was. Okay. Thank you for the question, Payne. Yusuf says, I believe that in Texas you can choose the judge that will be assigned to your case. Is that true? No, that's not true. Arnold says, scaring of Republican Party. Biden is the most powerful president in the world. Why scaring them? I think what you mean is, why would Biden be scared of the Republican Party? Oh, okay. He has to get, he has to win the Electoral College. Like, he has to win the election in 2024. And anything that if he gives Republicans a talking point that they can advertise that says, hey, look, Biden led all these immigrants into the U.S., people that are racist might vote against Biden that would not vote against him already. I don't know. It's an ugly part of America, and I don't like explaining it because I like to pretend like it doesn't exist. Don't go to Florida. That's my philosophy. What about DV 2020? I've answered this like 14 times in 37 minutes. I don't have an update. Share the link. I want the book. Okay. Let me see. The book is by, it's called Love Across Borders by Anna Lucas Miller. And I'm so close to being able to share this link. And I'm dropping right here. Love Across Borders. Go to the first link here that says pre-order. Okay. Massimo says, is there a kind of main plaintiffs in DV cases? For example, good luck, there's 111,000 families, but in the docket, there's 53 names. Oh, okay. So, no, they are not named plaintiffs. The ECF, which is the electronic court filing system, only allows us to type in, well, they require us to type in the first 50 named plaintiffs. There are some courts, I think New York, that you have to type them all in, and our ECF clerk does not like us to file in New York for that reason, I think. But every court's a little different on what the rule is. I want to say California is 20. I don't know. DC's 50. So I actually typed those 50 names, and the way I typed them was they're the first 50 names that were plaintiffs. It took all night to file that good luck case because it was so thick, and if I remember correctly, we filed a motion for a preliminary injunction right away. There's a lot of pages, thousands of pages. But I had typed in those 50 names, and they were just the first 50 plaintiff names. So there's no significance to them. Good question, though. I just hope they send an email update every month for us saying that there are no updates. Yusuf, here's the problem. If I send an update that says there are no updates, it gets everybody excited when they see that there's an update, and then they get mad because they see that the update was not an update. So I can't win. I mean, I don't know really what to do. I might send an update soon that says that there's no updates, but that's not really an update. I don't know. I might do it. We'll see. I appreciate the suggestion. I just understand that some people are going to get mad at me if I do that. Okay, Fady, do you think there will be significant difference in the upcoming appeal motion in the number of reserved visas or no? That sentence misunderstands the procedure a little bit. There's no upcoming appeal motion. There's forthcoming decision on the appeal, but the reservation of visa numbers is not an issue in the Good Luck appeal or the Gomez appeal. It is an issue in the Go Cross appeal that I don't really follow. Now, once we beat the appeal for Good Luck and it goes back to Judge Mehta and summary judgment briefing, we've asked on behalf of plaintiffs that he reanalyze the injunctive relief that he gave and expand the number of reserved visas from 6,914 to something like 10,000, just based on a couple of arguments we have related to math. I think that's what you're asking about. So I don't have any insights that are new or okay, you asked about potential outcomes. There are many potential outcomes here because there are 5 or 6 issues that are being appealed, and the court can agree with this one, not that one, this one, not that one, or we agree with all, or we don't agree with any of them. I mean, there's like multiple combinations there. And sometimes courts just do what they want. So just have to wait and see. I know nobody likes that, but you just really have to wait and see. Okay, Saba says, I've lost track of what's the latest with DV 2021. Okay, for the majority of DV 2021 visa applicants, your journey is over because you are not a Good Luck plaintiff, or you were not waiting for an interview from an embassy that is specified in the Ray versus Biden order. You were not a Go plaintiff. Should have said that too. Let's say that you're one of those categories. You should have mentioned that in your question. Then your journey continues, but it has to wait for the outcome of the appeal. Sega says, good luck plaintiff. You have to wait for the outcome of the appeal. 3-judge panel, they're considering the oral arguments that were made in September and all the briefing, or hundreds and hundreds of pages of briefing from the government and the plaintiff attorneys. They're considering that alongside the other 100 cases that they have, or more than 100 cases. I don't know exactly how many. And we just have to wait for the outcome of the appeal. That's all there is to it. Is it possible to write directly to Secretary Blinken to withdraw the appeal? Yeah, knock yourself out. Do it. I don't think he's going to answer. I don't think it's going to work, but I don't see any harm in it. Okay. I don't see any more questions. And I did enjoy the questions that were asked today. Lots of good questions. So thank you for that. If you had any question that you didn't ask, that you want to ask, go to the website, hit me up on the contact information. If you want to talk to Raphael, call the phone number. He's answering the phone now. So go to morrisonurena.com. There's phone numbers there. Call them up. You talk to Raphael. But if you want to talk to me, Telegram, WhatsApp, that's the best 2 ways to get hold of me, or email. Thanks. Until next week. Bye.